So she just started by saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it?
Great question asked by Donald Trump on Tuesday night at the end of the debate with Kamala Harris. Kamala may have been better on the optics and she came off more prepared and polished, but she had no substance. And this right here is what I think is going to be stand out the most from that debate. So what are the voters saying? Despite Kamala being praised by the media as winning this debate and blah, 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 how do the voters feel? Let's check it out.
What did you see that brought you to a conclusion?
I think it's important to remember that we are voting for the leader of our country and not who we like the most or who we want in our wedding party, but who is actually going to make our country better. And we're in an incredibly unique situation where we've had both of the candidates in office before and we've gotten to see what they would do. And when facts come to facts, my life was better when Trump was in office. The economy was higher, inflation was lower, things were better overall. And now with Kamala's administration, things haven't been so fantastic. And she's saying she can fix the problems that her administration has caused, but I just don't know if I can afford to take that risk.
You cannot afford to take that risk. And that's what I think is important about what she said, is that she's looking at how things were under Trump and how things are under Biden-Kamala administration, the Biden-Kamala Harris administration. And it's simple. Inflation was lower. Things were a lot better under Trump. And she can't afford to take that risk this time. And I think a lot of voters feel the same way. Whether you were undecided, you were on the fence, or you voted for Biden last time. And now you're seeing the contrast between the two. And Kamala is just going to be more of the same. And there's more. This is from a CBS reporter named Major Garrett. He went to Michigan and spoke to voters there. This is very telling. Let's check it out.
And so I talked to 20 voters. Not one of them was undecided.
Wow.
Not one.
Not one. And headlines come and go, but let me tell you this. Support for former President Trump is real and resilient. I encounter that everywhere I went. And that's something the Harris campaign knows, recognizes. It's a fact in Michigan. And so I talked to...
Yeah. 20 people, not a single one was undecided. Let's keep going.
For this election, would you say your mind is made up?
Yes.
And that is?
Trump.
Okay. Are you a previous Trump supporter?
The first year he won in 2016, I was not.
Did you vote for Hillary?
I did vote for Hillary,
Okay.
but I cried when she did not win.
Okay. Then what happened?
And then I just felt like he did a good job. I liked the fact that he was not a politician.
You believe you were better off 4 years ago?
Oh, absolutely. Small business owner Andrew Singrati backs.
People are going to vote with their pocketbooks and about what's going on at the border. To me, there is no other way about that. You see what's gone on the last 3.5 years with the migrant crime, people flooding the border, and then you have the sky-high inflation. People can't make ends meet. The small businesses are struggling in a lot of areas of the country because of what this administration has done. Now, this one right here is the most important clip. Let's check it out.
How will you feel if Trump doesn't win, Diane?
Petrified.
Petrified?
Petrified.
Of what may be happening?
All the illegals coming through, they're going to make it up here to Michigan.
What is going on at the border scares me to death. I just hold my breath every day hoping that somebody that I love doesn't get hurt.
Really? You think about it that much?
Yes.
How will you feel?
Petrified is what she said. She would be petrified because of what's going on at the border, and she's worried about illegals making their way to Michigan. And that woman, the second woman, fears that somebody she knows will get hurt. A lot of women are being attacked. A lot of women are being raped. These stories are all over the news, all over the internet. You can look them up. This is not just something I'm making up, not some conspiracy theory that was told to me by Donald Trump. He didn't send me a memo to say this stuff. These are stories that are going on across America. I'm going to make a video about that, about the migrant crime. It's very scary. So it's important to get in touch with your local police. We'll touch on that more later on. But yeah, women are being raped, they're being killed, and this is terrifying. This should terrify every person across this country. And mass deportation is not racist. It doesn't matter if you're from Haiti, it doesn't matter if you're from El Salvador or Venezuela or Norway. Illegal is illegal, and if you're coming over here committing crimes, you will be the first to go. I think that should be the first priority of mass deportation, is getting rid of all the criminals. Just getting rid of all of the violent criminals should be first and foremost to kick out of this country. But the Michigan poll came out post-debate, and Trump is ahead by 1. Michigan was a state that I thought Kamala Harris had a pretty good chance of winning of the swing states, but yeah, 800 people 800 likely voters respond to this poll, and 49% said Trump. I mean, polls aren't everything, but that's pretty telling being post-debate. Like I said, she was good on the optics, but pretty bad on substance. Here's another poll that came out post-debate.
Look at the economy here. Who would better handle the economy is what we ask. Going into the debate, before the debate, 37% said Harris, 53% Trump. After the debate, again, margin of error stuff here, but numerically she lost a little ground. 35% said so after the debate, that she would better handle the economy. 55% said Trump, and we know that is one of his strongest suits across the polling in this election, and he seemed to hang on to that piece in this debate tonight, according to our poll of debate watchers.
All that other stuff doesn't matter. Like I said, the optics, the coming off polished, and the talking points and all that doesn't matter. What people care about is the economy and what's going on at the border. They spend 10 minutes on the abortion issue. While I get it, abortion is a very divisive issue, and it's very important to both sides. They have different views on that, but to me, that's not the center point of this election. We'll take care of that. The states will take care of that in their own manner. Right? The right to choose is not the key issue of this election. What is more important to you? Your bank account, your retirement being decimated, your purchasing power, I should say, being decimated. Migrants coming, illegals coming across the border, not knowing who's coming in. Crime on the rise. And yes, crime is on the rise. I will touch on that in a separate video, but crime is rising across the country. And so what's more important to you? Somebody's right to choose? Or a woman being upset because she can't choose whether to have an abortion or not? Or you having to work 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet? Your business being destroyed by the economy. Businesses are filing for bankruptcy left and right. Let's keep going. Some undecided voters not convinced by Harris after debate with Trump. This is from Reuters. I'm going to read through some of this article here. This Kamala Harris was widely seen as dominating Tuesday's presidential debate against Republican former President Donald Trump, but a group of undecided voters remained unconvinced that the Democratic vice president was the better choice. Reuters interviewed 10 people who were still unsure of how they were going to vote in the November 5th election before they watched the debate. 6 said afterward they would now either vote for Trump or were leaning toward backing him. 3 said they would now back Kamala, 3 boneheads, and 1 bonehead is still unsure. How are you still unsure? It doesn't make sense. But anyway, Harris and Trump are in a tight race, and the election will likely be decided just by tens of thousands of votes in a handful of battleground states, many of whom are swing voters like the undecided voters who spoke to Reuters. Let's see. The responses suggest that Harris might need to provide more detailed policy proposals to win the voters who have yet to make up their minds. 5 said they found Harris vague during the more than 90-minute debate on how she would improve the U.S. economy and deal with the high cost of living. We'll go down here. The Trump converts converts said they trusted him more in the economy, even though they all said they did not like him as a person, and that's okay. They said their personal financial situation had been better when he was president between 2017 and 2021. Some singled out his proposal to tax foreign imports, although economists said that is likely to raise prices. But we had tariffs. He had tariffs back when he was in office, and inflation was 1.4% when he left on an annualized basis. I still don't know what she is for. An entrepreneur in Florida, 61 years old. There was no real meat and bones for her plans. 4 of the voters are women, 6 are men, 8 are white, and 2 are black. All voted for both Democrat and Republican candidates in the past. Robert Wheeler, at 48 years old, a security firm executive in Nevada, was leaning towards Harris before the debate. He now says if the election were held tomorrow, he would vote for Trump, largely because he thought Harris didn't provide any clarity on her policies. He says, I felt like the whole debate Kamala Harris was telling me why not to vote for Trump instead of telling me why she's the right candidate. And look, these voters are so important, and it's a no-brainer. There's no reason why you should vote for Kamala Harris. She's very radical. It doesn't make sense why people are undecided. You see what's been going on, and she's directly tied to these policies with Joe Biden. That's been going on the past 3.5 years. Stuff has been going on the past 3.5 years, but it's not a personality contest. It's not, like the woman said, who you're going to invite to your wedding party. I'd rather have Trump in my wedding party than Kamala Harris all day. Just make that clear. If I were in that situation, if I had the option to choose, but this is not a personality contest. You may like Trump. I've always liked Trump. I love his personality. I think the strength is what we need as a country. Yeah, he may say some crazy, some wild things at times, but he's tough. And I like that. Some people may not like his style, but you have to like his policies. That's what matters. And it shouldn't matter because Kamala Harris comes off as like a typical politician. She's well-spoken, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't matter. Anyway, let's keep going here. It's from PJ Media. I'm going to jump to the main part of this article. It says Fox News held a focus group using dial monitors, which showed independent voters tracking with Republicans on key issues during the debate. This focus group included 7 Democrats, 5 independents, and 5 Republicans, with their reactions tracked by blue, yellow, and red lines respectively. When it came to the most important issues of the election, such as the economy or rising crime associated with illegal immigrants, yellow line representing independent voters surged dramatically in Trump's favor, aligning closely with the red line for Republicans. And when Kamala Harris attacked Trump, the independent voters responded negatively, once again tracking closely with Republican voters on the panel. I was really, really surprised because the intensity of the independent support was there for Donald Trump, and I didn't expect it. Lee Carter, a pollster and president of Maslanky Partners, said Wednesday on the Faulkner Focus. Independents are tracking very much Republicans. They're looking for a couple of things. Looking for answers on immigration, looking for answers on the economy. They want to hear things will get better for them, and they also want change from what is happening right now. One of the most important things they were looking for last night from Kamala is how are you going to make it different? An independent voter from New York highlighted the visible effects of the migrant crisis in the city. He criticized Kamala for not defending the administration's policies on the issue, suggesting that a lack of defense was because it's indefensible, so she pivoted. She did. She pivoted. She knows, she's not dumb. She clearly sees that there are issues in New York City and Chicago and now in some of these other smaller towns in Ohio and Colorado. And that is a direct impact of what has been caused under this administration. She is the border czar. Quote, she's supposed to oversee the root cause. We have a border czar here in Texas, Mike Banks. I think he was named border czar last year or the year before. His whole job is to oversee what's going on at the border, how he can make things better, where the problems are. That's what he does for a living, and that's what Kamala is supposed to do. Not fly, let's find the root cause of these issues, and they will. No, the root cause is the border is not secure. Period. Then he could work on the other stuff. But I wanted to share this with you. I thought this was very important about this debate, and you're seeing a lot of hoopla on TV with, oh, Kamala was, Trump looked unprepared and this and that, and Kamala was, she came off more prepared, and she was for one, it was 3-on-1, 3 versus 1, Trump against the moderators and her, and you see it, man. I don't know if you heard, but now it's coming out that Kamala likely has ties to these people in ABC, a friendship and a sorority sister or whatever it is over at the top person at Disney, which oversees ABC. Yeah, it was Trump was, it was an ambush. They should have seen this coming, but it was a 3-on-1 trying to take him down, but he held his own. He got loud at times, and you can tell he was getting frustrated, but understandably so. Yeah, very important stuff right here. The voters didn't care about the optics. They cared about the issues. Trump went on the issues. The first 15 minutes or so, when it was on the economy and the border, he hammered her. And things started to go in her favor during the debate, but at the end with the closing statement, why haven't you done it in the past 3.5 years? You have influence. You can go talk to Joe Biden. You can get things done if you want to. Sign an executive order to get this border mess cleaned up. Trump did it, and Biden signed executive orders reversing those policies, what Trump put in place at the border. So it can be done, but they choose not to because they want to destroy the country. But all right, I'm going to leave that right there. Like and subscribe. See you next time. Thank you. Take care.